महावीर साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की
जय।
साड़ी इस्त्री करायला त्याला एवढा वेळ लागला. We got this. I think they should bring all these together. It's better. All there.
Closer?
Yes, closer.
Where would you like me to
It's
put
good.
you? Just find a space for it. And these?
It's all right. I don't think I need it. My spectacles I gave. Sorry. Come close.
Come forward, please. ऐसे पानी वगैरह है.
थोडं जवळ घ्यायला पाहिजे. बरे याचं ते कनेक्शन झालं का टेपचं कनेक्शन. Today we are going to celebrate the birthday of Mahavira. Mahavira is the incarnation of Bhairavnath, or you call him at Saint Michael. Now these two saints, as you know, one is the Gabriel, Hanumana, and another is Saint Michael. One is placed on the Pingala Nadi and another one, Saint Michael, on the Ida Nadi. So, Mahavira had to go through lots of search. Of course, he was a angel, but came as human being. And he had to find out the thing of the left side and how the left side acts. It's a very complicated thing, left side. It's much more complicated than right side. On the left side, we have also 7 nadis. And these 7 nadis are placed one after another. They are described in books and given different names to them. Now these 7 nadis that are on the left side, as you know, they cater to our past. Say, for example, every moment becomes a past. Every present becomes a past. Then we have past of this lifetime. And also we have past of our previous lives. Then all the past is built in within us since our creation. So all these psychosomatic diseases, as you know, are only triggered by the entities that appear from the left side. For a person, supposing he is suffering, say, from liver trouble, and suddenly he is attacked from the left side, especially Muladhara, or any left side, left navi. Because Muladhara is the only one that is connected with the left side, Ida Nadi, and the right side, Pingala Nadi, is connected to Swadhisthana. So the problems of Muladhara are really beyond the reach of human beings. And when it is attacked, any one of these chakras on the left-hand side, then psychosomatic diseases occur into human beings. As I have told you many times, now this is the center, this is another center, left and right. They are on top of each other. Using the right side too much goes up to a point and suddenly something happens on the left, triggers. So all diseases, say even diabetes, is due to the psychosomatic effect. A person who is very hard-working, thinks too much, very right-sided, suddenly something happens, maybe also he might inherit that diabetes because of the past, and it triggers, and you get this psychosomatic problem. Now this psychosomatic problem is only cured if you know what's the problem of the left side. So Mahavir went quite deep onto the left side. Why I said it's difficult, the left side, is because when you start moving on the left side, the movement becomes linear, of course, but it moves downward. While the movement on the right side moves upward. So the movement goes down like that, and then it coils up, forms coils, and you go on moving with it, so you are lost in the coil. But the other one moves upward and the coils are not so many, and because it is upward, it's easy to get out of it. So those people who go to the left, by any chance, by thinking too much about their past, crying about themselves and always complaining, are more difficult than the people on the right side. But the right side people are troublesome to others, while the left side people are troublesome to themselves. That's how this left side was to be found out properly, was done by Mahavir. Of course, he knew also, I think, all about it. So he has mentioned practically in details lots of things that can happen to a person who goes to the left side. He gave the idea of hell. He also described 7 types of hell. I mean, it's so horrible that I don't want to tell you what is hell is. It's horrifyingly cruel, horrifyingly joyless, and horrifyingly so repulsive that you hate yourself when you understand you have committed this mistake, you have committed this paap, this sin, and then what is the result? What you get, the punishment part. Mahavir worked it out, everything. He has given in all details what sort of punishment is due to a human being who tries to be left-sided. Also he has given about the person who is right-sided, but not to that extent, because he had to deal with the combination, but mostly with the left side. As I have told many people before, and here also I perhaps maybe, that there is a soul that is made out of the causal bodies of all the five elements. The causal, say, for example, of the earth is fragrance. So this soul, which is made of the five causal bodies and your centers, plus we can say also it has got the control over the parasympathetic. It sits on the spinal cord from outside and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So it has a connection with every center. Now this is the soul when we die, with the Kundalini and our spirit goes into the sky. And it is the soul that guides now the movement of our being, whatever is left now, into a new being, and that's how it works out. So everything that we have done so far is recorded in that soul. When you were asking me, Mother, we see some sort of round things, you see, lying together. What is that? I told you this is a dead soul. And now they have found out what I have told them. Because, see, when a person dies, his soul shows you, like even now you can see, round things. There could be many, there could be one, a string. And they saw it under microscope when I told them that the soul within us is reflected on the cell, which is the reflector of every cell. So the part of the cell which is the reflector, which is placed on one side of the cell, also has this soul reflected. And the main soul, which is on the back, controls that reflected soul which looks after every cell. Now they have found out that there is in that reflector this kind of 7 loops. 7 loops because it sits on the 7 chakras and the Muladhara. Now what he found out, that when people die, then some of the souls are born again just after a few days. These people are just very ordinary type of people. That's how we brought in a kind of category. So they are the people who have died. They are of a category, one category, where they exist for a very short time in the collective subconscious, and then they take their rebirth. They are very ordinary people, aimless, useless people. But there are some souls, when they die, they just hang in the air, and they are just waiting to find out somebody who will fulfill their desires, which are not yet fulfilled. Like there's a drunkard, and a drunkard can join another human being who is living, who would like to drink. So once he starts getting this So once it starts, uh, getting into the habit of drinking, some of these souls can just jump on that person. And when they jump on that person, they can make him a real drunkard. I remember of a lady who was a very short, petite person, came from Cuba, in America when I went first. And she told me that she is very sick of herself. Her husband told me that she can take one whiskey bottle full, neat sometimes. Looked at her, such a little thing, I said, how can she do it? So, I put a bandhan on her and I saw a huge, big Negro standing behind her. So I said, do you know some Negro? Immediately she jumped on me. She said, Mother, you see that one? You see that one? That's the one who drinks, not me. Of course, I cured her, and after that she gave up drinking completely. So, whenever you start getting into a habit in a bad way, you lose complete control of yourself, and a spirit sits on you and it controls you. And when it controls you, you do not know how to get rid of any habit. That's why it's difficult to get rid of habits. Now, in Sahaja Yoga, when the Kundalini rises, what happens? That the spirits, these dead spirits, leave you and you become all right and you give up. That's how it works. I would say that all this Mahavir did not tell, nor did he find out all these things, because he was not a scientist, I think, or I don't know why. But what he has talked about is the hell. And he has said that if you do this kind of a thing in your lifetime, then what kind of a hell you will get. And he has described the hell in a very, I should say, openly and in a very detailed manner. And it's really horrible to know that a human being who thinks so of himself ultimately will get to that kind of a hell, and some are permanently doomed to be there. But as incarnations take birth, also these devils, some of them who are completely doomed to live in hell, also take their birth. And when they take their birth, they try to trouble us. And they can take birth as you know, as our gurus and things and everything is happening now. You find it how these people are taking their birth and how they are misleading us. How they are using the left swadhisthana, or we can call it the left side, just to immobilize us completely. So when a person is possessed, as you must have seen, a person gets possessed, he cannot feel vibrations. There are all kinds of symptoms about such a person. But in Sahaja Yoga, what do we do? Is to take the name of Mahavira. Because Mahavira runs all the way on the Idanadi and comes and stays here onto the, we can say, the point which is for our superi. And it sees, controls, works out, cleanses, and does all that is required to put a person right after surgery. So we have to be really very thankful to him for doing this kind of work, which is very filthy and dirty, because these people don't mind even sitting in the bathroom, like that we can say, or sitting with everything and meditating. They can do anything. They are very dirty people, absolutely dirty. When they become tantrikas, they try all kinds of dirty things, and with that they actually create a problem between themselves and the god. Say they will go to a temple of a goddess and start misbehaving with a woman there. So the goddess will disappear. And once the goddess disappears in that area, they call all these booths from the left side. So now we have all these souls which are lying, hanging in the air, trying to come back to a conscious thing and to possess someone. Plus we have these masters of the left side who know how to catch hold of these people and put them on somebody, or to remove from them someone and to put somebody else. So it's a continuous process, and this makes a person absolutely mad and good for nothing. Now when we know all this, still we get caught up on the left side. So we do get caught up. That's why I think this Mahavir Jayanti is a very, very great thing for us to observe. Now why was he called Mahavira? Because only a person like him, Veera means a person who is brave, who is chivalrous. Because only he could do this. So only he could enter into the being fully and could kill, or we can say destroy, those horrible rakshasas, devils, all these negative things that come to us. Now, as you know, we use left side very much for so many negativity that is torturing us. But if there is no help, say from Mahavira, we cannot do it. We call the name of Mahavira, we could call him Saint Michael, we can call him by any name, but Mahavira because he was a human being. All this works out because of him. And he is such a great identity. He himself took a birth as a human being, difficult for saints to take birth as human beings. Moreover, you see the whole concept of hell and all that is described in any scripture is a fact. It exists. And if you try to go in there, you see, when I try to go there and to find out, I just go off to sleep sort of thing. In my sleep I find out all the things that are happening about person, how much he's got up, what he's done. It's not an easy thing to do with the conscious mind. You have to take to the subconscious and you have to go into sushupti, in a deeper sleep, to see what's happening in the left side. It's a very funny situation, I think. And for Sahaja Yogis also to enter in it, I would not advise. But one should get rid of the problems of the left side with the help of Mahavira. When this chakra is caught up, what you find is a big lump of bone coming out on the right side. So you have to take the name of Mahavira just to remove that pressure from the left side. Now many people do not even know why they suffer. Why should they suffer when they have done nothing wrong? Because they are possessed. Now even the viruses and all these things like psychosomatic troubles like cancer, all I would say, the incurable diseases are there because we are triggered into the left side. That's why we are suffering from these diseases which are not curable. So we have to thank really very much Mahavira, who has given us this power to remove our left-sided problems, who has given us this light in our hand, which he himself vibrates, and he himself tries to throw some light on the obscure things about me also. Because of him only, we can get cured of so many physical and mental troubles. You know that the left side can be easily cured if you use 3 candle treatment. That shows Mahavira is only fond of light. He doesn't like darkness. And his idea is, I think that way, is to now fully go all the way to clear the left side as far as possible, to help Sahaja Yoga to be established in countries where I find still lot of this negativity is there. Lot of it. So he is working it out everywhere. And the psychosomatic diseases and all these diseases also we can work it out with candle light and all that. With 3 candles we can do this trick. So we have to be very thankful to him that he has achieved this kind of entry into the left side and has found out for us what sort of problems exist on the left side. It's such a nice thing that we have got today the chance to celebrate his birthday here in a place which is really very much loved by him. Now you may say that Mahavira is sometimes seen as a person who is naked. So it happened that he had gone in a jungle to meditate and to find out about the left side. And when he got up, you see, he got caught up in one of the bushes. And he had to torn off half part of that. When that half part was torn off, then he came out of those bushes and he was all right. But at the same time, Sri Krishna appeared there on the scene as a little boy from a village. And he said that I am a poor man. This little boy said, I am a poor person, I have nothing with me. You are a king, you can always get your clothes. Why don't you give me this half cloth that you have? And they say so that it was given to this boy and who ran away. He was nobody else but Sri Vishnu. And this, you see, Vishnu took away that cloth, and hardly for about 2 seconds or 3 seconds, because he was a king, you see. And he hid himself with leaves and went to his palace and got dressed. But imagine the people, how negative they are. They just walk without clothes. Jainis, they have, you see, all kinds of taboos against all the worms, everything. It's said, these people have started, that if you do not respect these little animals, like you can say even serpent or any animal which is troublesome and bad, but is a human, is a living thing, so is to be preserved. Now these Jains are mad. I told you that they have gone to such a limit of vegetarianism that they try to save even the bugs, put the bugs in a hut. And the hut has got a Brahmin there. Now these bugs suck the blood of this Brahmin. And once the Brahmin is completely, I should say, sucked in by these bugs, they fall on the ground. Then they allow the Brahmin to come out and they give him a lot of dakshina, means they give him money as a reward for helping the bugs to suck his blood. This kind of vegetarianism is there. Beware of vegetarians. You see, even Hitler was a vegetarian. So you can imagine what sort of a vegetarianism it is. All these fads of vegetarianism and all that are not at all required. And that's what Mahavira showed in his life, that it is not at all important to bother about food, what issue. See, the whole theory of this vegetarianism has gone to such a nonsensical limits that I have told people that we should give up vegetarianism completely. Now also see the juxtaposition of what he wanted to do. If you do not eat proteins, you cannot fight bhoots. A person who has bhoots in him must eat a lot of proteins, not carbohydrates, but proteins, so that it can fight those left-sided enemies. But here it is, they have to be vegetarians. Now imagine there are left-sided enemies within them and they want to be vegetarians. Finished. How will they fight it? So all this is all, we should say, is pre-planned by the person who tries to sort of, we can say like this, that you see a person who tries to remove uh, or we can say that the person who tries to make these lower animals live rather than human beings. You see, there are persons, this is the stupid thing they do. Must know that I cannot give realization to these worms and to these fishes or even to chickens. We require human beings. So, all this has happened because of human beings going in juxtaposition of whatever is said. Like Christ has said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. And I have yet to come across a Christian who is not a Sajogi without adulterous eyes, whether it's a woman or a man. So we go just the opposite of what we have been taught. In the case of same thing happened, that Mahavira, what he tried to do was absolutely killed by these people who are trying to make this vegetarianism as a big religion. Also, another thing was that this vegetarianism came into Jainism through one fellow called Neminath, who was a Tirthankar at the time of Sri Krishna. He was to be married. In those days they were married, not only but they were eating all kinds of meats. And so many lambs and goats came for the wedding of this man. So he felt that Uparati, we call it, he didn't like, he was disgusted, he was frustrated with that. With that frustration, what did he do? He said, I will not eat meat. And that's how vegetarianism started among Jainis. And that's how it's still going on. And these Jainis, I find, are the joyless people, absolutely joyless. They are so much fond of money, they run after the money, and they go on behaving in such a peculiar way that you can't understand. I mean, they are human beings, but the way they behave, you cannot understand them. They are not normal people. So we realize that despite all that Mahavira worked out, still the people are supposed to be his disciples. They are Jains, and they are like this. So what we have to do now is to understand that in Sahaja Yoga we better not do something of that kind. Whatever you are told, you have to understand why it is so. You know the modus operandi, you know each and everything about Sahaja Yoga. You know the whole subject. So it's not proper for you to, in any way, to succumb to any such arguments or any such big talks or big advertisement and take to something that is wrong. It's very important. We are Sajogis. We understand the balance. Of course, I always say that Westerners, for example, maybe Australians also, should take more to carbohydrates because they eat a lot of meat. So they can take to carbohydrates. But that doesn't mean vegetarianism by any chance. I mean to compensate. And in India, I always say they must take to more meats. It's good to do them good. But by no means I say that you just eat meat and nothing else. But a balance has to be found out. And once you strike it, then you'll be surprised that you feel so relaxed, so much better, so much enlightened, and the vibrations will flow much better than normal. So for food, you have to be careful. Same about with clothes, that you shouldn't go mad after a suit all the time, whether it's hot or cold or indifferent. What you have to do is to wear something that will suit you. Now, for example, in a climate like this, you may require a suit or something to cover yourself. But supposing you are in Ganpatipure, some place like that, where it's not so cold, not so hot, maybe it's dry. So what sort of a dress you should wear which is comfortable, that should be found out. And whatever you find out, that this is such a comfortable dress for us, you better do it. Because what I have seen, many, you see, it's a thing that whenever I tell you something, don't take it to the extremes and don't take a little bit of it. But when I tell you this thing, You must understand that whatever is good for you, whatever is your temperament, whatever is aptitude, you have to take something that will nourish that, that will improve you and give you a balance. So, to balance yourself, if you think of Mahavira, you must think also of Sri Hanuman. Both these things are important. It's not easy to tell all about Mahavira in this short lecture, but I think I have quite connected him now with Surge, and you must have seen to it that how important he is and what an important role he plays. So may God bless you. Thinking about Mahavira, it's impossible to keep it to the conscious mind, it's just going into the left all the time. Because I just in the car thought I better think about Mahavira. And since then it's all going towards the left. It's so difficult. But it will work out. May God bless you. Have some water. Terrible thing, this left side. Funny. I think if you have any problems, you must ask me also. Because this is the only time when we can talk about things. If you have any problems, you can ask me about left side. How to correct it, how to work it out, anything. Please ask me. Because you always get this problem. What's it? Can't hear it. काय म्हणता?
लेफ्ट हार्ट मध्ये सुईसारखं टोचतंय मला.
हां?
लेफ्ट हार्ट मध्ये he feels like the needles.
सुईसारखं?
हां.
सुईसारखं आपण बोलतो.
हां.
Now, heart, as I told you, is a reflection of God Almighty, which is the Spirit. So we have two types of heart troubles, as I told you before also. One is when you have an overactive life, right-sided, and the left-sided is the lethargic heart, where you get angina and all that. Now, in your case, in a case where you feel there is something pricking you, that means it's a possession. If the hands are sort of pins and needles, then it's kind of possession. But it can be cleared out. Any other question?
Could you say something about left navi?
That's a different area though. Left navi comes from the relationship between a wife and a husband mostly. But a wife who is a complaining type, is a very sort of all the time grudging, very nervous and bothers the husband, frightened and all sorts of things that they do. See, just sometimes they do it just to trouble the husband, but sometimes basically they are very left-sided, possessed women. And these possessed women give you this left navi. Any woman who feels the left navi, she must immediately understand that there's some sort of a horrible thing in her being which has to go out. So for left navi, you must take to 3 candle treatment and try to respect your husband. Try to be kind to him. Because these spirits can also dominate. Not that they can make you very sly. They can also dominate. They have a way of dominating. So in any case, it looks as if a woman might look to be right-sided, But actually she's suffering from left navi and she's extremely dominated. In the same way, if the husband is not a good man and he tortures the wife and she feels unhappy about it and she's sorry about it, then also she catches the left navi. So in both cases, one has to understand that you get your joy, the source of joy is yourself, your own spirit. Doesn't depend on your husband or anyone. You are single that way. So you shouldn't worry about your husband. You shouldn't think how he treats you. You shouldn't bother at all about him. But what you have to think is that after all I am his wife, I should support him, I should help him. Whatever way he is, let him be as he is. Because he won't get corrected if I tell him. So the best thing is I better not tell him anything, let him do whatever he likes. And you clear out your left navi with candle. That's the way. By the way. All right, we'll get the children to wash my feet now. It's very difficult, left side is still there. I'm just, hello. You all have to come here, wash my feet, all right? So beautiful. मंत्र म्हणाल फार मोठं होईल ते नुसतं हे गणेश असतो ते हां पण कोण म्हणेल सगळ्यांना येत कोणाला नाही हू नोज ऑल द गणेश स्तुती टू बी सांग और यू नो अथर्वशीर्ष Oh, better than sing Atharva.
Song book and there's Atharva
Because Ganesha is the one, you see, who is sitting on Muladhara. And it is he who is the one who puts you onto the left side. He throws you all the time. And it is Mahavira who tries to save you and to correct you. So there are two forces working. Take this. Yeah, take it. उडायला पाहिजे. इथे आल्यावर ध्यान देतात महावीराकडे बघायचं.
आता भैरवनाथाचं जे नाव आहे तिथलं ते चालेल. भैरवनाथाची नाव आहेत 108.
काय
भैरवनाथांची संस्कृत नाव आहेत. पूजा करताना
आता हात धुवायच्या वेळेला म्हणा काढून नका. He says he has got the names of Bhairavnath. It's very good. So you can come and wash my hands, those who are readers. Readers. Big joke about that. तुम म्हणा नाव. Somebody should come here to put all the things. Who can do it? वरती छोटा त्याच्या असं थोडस बस फार
मंत्र
मंत्र Now, what, somebody, one by one you can come and put the water in. Just put the water. Just it. No, no, not the boys. You have to do it. You just put yourself. Now, one by one, come along. First of all is the honey. Call it. Stephen, come. That is also only this was.
एकवीस नाव आहे. The names of Shri Bhairava.
Translation.
I speak the name first. For example, Saint Michael. Amishi Om Tamil Saksha Shri Michael Saksha Shri Adi Shakti. We begin with Shri Mataji.
Put that one. Also put that. You should mix it up. Put this one. Take that one. The other one. The honey. Yeah. We'll need you again. Be careful, it should not touch your food. What is this? Is cream, isn't it?
Animal.
I thought it was
Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Pradayini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah Shri Angel Michael
to you.
Om Swameva Sakshat Shri Angel Michael Sakshat
From Melbourne, somebody got
Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah Shri Maha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Maha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah Shri Vatuka Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vatuka Sakshat
take a jastri le honey.
Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi
Honey nantar
Shri Siddha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Siddha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah Shri Kankala Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kankala Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Khala Mameva Sakshat Shri Khala Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Khala Mameva Sakshat Shri Kalagni Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Yogini Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Yogini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Shakti
झालं दही झालं
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shakti Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Ananda Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ananda Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Martanda Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Martanda Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Gaura Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Gaura Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Bala Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Bala Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Batu Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Batu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Smashana Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Smashana Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Pura Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Pura Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Taruna Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Taruna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Paramananda Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Paramananda Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Surananda Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री ज्ञानानंदा। साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री उत्तमानंदा। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री उत्तमानंदा साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री अमृतानंदा। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री अमृतानंदा साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री कल्की साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात श्री कल्की साक्षात श्री स्वामी मोक्षाप्रदायिनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी इडानाडीचे मंत्र इडानाडीचे मंत्र इडानाडीचे Take the mantra for Shri Mahabhairava.
These are the Iranadi names.
Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahabhairava Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Siddha Bhairava. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Siddha Bhairava Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Vatuka Bhairava. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vatuka Bhairava Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo. Shri Kamkala Bhairava. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kamkala Bhairava Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Shri Kala Bhairava. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kala Bhairava Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah.
आलता पर कुंकू लावून दे. आलता आहे तिथे घरी होता.
श्री कालाग्नि भैरवा
This finger, you draw line. Ready? Come and
श्री योगिनी भैरवा
Baby. This is all.
श्री महाभैरवा
Just beyond that. It's on. Just put the line like
श्री शक्ति भैरवा श्री आनंद भैरवा श्री मार्कंड भैरवा गुरु भैरवा
put it under my, on the sole. Can you use all the fingers? I mean, on this side. Also down there. To complete that. The line. To the line, up to the line you have to do the complete. Hold it up there, yes. All that. One more. Up to the line you just do complete. Still complete. Yes, correct. Yes, that's it. Now take out the, whatever you put more than. It's correct. No, extra that you have on my fingers, on my toes. Just take it out. Now if you can get some married ladies also.
7 mother? Married lady? Married lady. Okay. Would you like 7 mother? 7 mother?
Yeah, baby, sorry. ते दूसरा का दूसरा
आधी मार्ग तो दो
हाँ?
आधी मार्ग तो दो
हाँ गाण्यामध्ये
हाँ
देवीची नावं
देवीचे नाव
गाण्यामध्ये सगळ्यांना म्हणा
हाँ
extra is quite a lot. Just put the extra also out.
In between the toes.
Too much. Use your hands. Take it out. It's better. Take it out there. Be careful, don't spoil the line. Don't spoil the line. This line you should not spoil. Yes, be careful. It's all right. This time you must bring you must bring file and bicha, yeah.
Would you like a cleaner towel?
Whatever is supposed to be done by ladies, but this is sari here. Just wipe your hand on this.
Here.
कौन से बना?
नमस्ते तु महामाय
हाँ?
नमस्ते तु महामाय श्री पीठे
हाँ?
नमस्ते तु महामाय
हाँ नहीं एक गाना है ना हिंदी से गाना जिसमें सभी नाव है
हिंदी तेरे ही बुलाते
हाँ तेरे ही ये सगा नहीं था से समझ में नंबर now what you can do is to get the sari
Sorry.
not the sari
आम्ही म्हणजे सेंटर तर्फे साडी आणलेली
हाँ?
सेंटर तर्फे साडी आणि चोळी आणलेली आहे
और आम्ही आणली त्यांनी मला सांगितलं तुम्ही घेऊन या म्हणून मी घेऊन आले
आणि आम्ही पण आणलेली दाखवू काय
हो आणा तुम्ही पण आले अच्छा हे दोन्ही घालावे हं? Take it.
Okay.
Iti idara mo.
Stand up. You will hold it up.
Double.
Double over. That's the bottom.
Take it down.
Come and hold on.
Call one of them who are there
Those two
sitting
ladies come on
in front. That's have to sit here.
to help me.
तेरे ही गुण गाते हैं तो नित दिन गाते हैं तेरे ही गुण गाते
Would you
हैं
like this one?
this one. First of all, this will give you big. Now, this one with you can take that home.
Just take some fruits.
Yes, yes. You can take some rice. Bangalore. That's not. These are small and big. Body Blanche. Don't keep it repeat because the time up is higher. If you can take it out, then it's easier to tie that. Covering there. That's it.
Frank.
And you have to organize these flowers under my feet. But more white under my feet and the colored ones on the side. कहाँ से ताली बनाया है? Put all the white and I'll put my feet up. Now the light colors like pink, you know. ते मोठं ताट घ्या ना. थोडं मोठं असतं तर बरं नाही तर. हां ठीक आहे. ह्याच्यात ती साखर घालून टाका. साखरेचं मोठं ताट आहे. ह्याच्यात साखर घ्या आणि त्याच्यात घाला. ते बरं येतं. तसं तू वगैरे काढून घ्या, त्याच्यात कापून घ्या. लहानाच्या दिवा ठेवा, मोठ्याच्या मध्ये कापून ठेवा. कुंकू काढून कुंकू हळद काढून घ्या बाहेर. अत्तरे काढून पुष्कळ कापून. वाटीत घाला कापूर. So leaders लोग बकरा leaders लोग
All the leaders. All the leaders.
ऊपर की धूप असेल तर बघा ऐसे धूप बघा इथंच तर त्रास असतो
विसजरति परम से दुर्गा सब गुरुआ देना सब गुरुआ देना जय निर्मल माता जय निर्मल माता दिल में सदा देना सब गुरुआ देना मधु संगीत सुमरो मधु संगीत सुमरो कोई सके जो सेवा कोई सके जो सेवा हमसे करा देना सब गुरुआ देना सब गुरुआ देना
नमस्कार सर
नमस्कार
May God bless you. May God bless. May God bless. See how everything is quiet. Just before Aarti it started again and now. Beautiful. You take photograph my feet. Sweet just